Support WrestleTalk!
Donate on Patreon.
Shane McMahon suspended, Vince McMahon's WWE return announced, and James Ellsworth gets broken up with, snogged, and slapped all in one night. Or as I call it, Thursdays. I'm Ollie Davis and this is the 5th of September 2017 edition of Smackdown Live in about 4 minutes. Carmella's pre-announced match against Natalya was meant to kick off SmackDown, but Ellsworth's introduction was interrupted by the bout's new referee, Kevin Owens. Rather than officiating the match, though, KO chose to complain more about Shane McMahon. Some shuffling trainer feet later, and Owens and the SmackDown commissioner had their version of John Cena and Roman Reigns' work shoot promo from last week. KO said everything Shane does is to impress his dad, jumping off Hell in a Cell, presumably foreshadowing their eventual October pay-per-view match, and even surviving a helicopter crash. In fact, the McMahon family would be better off if he died in the latter. Strong words, but it was KO referencing Shane's kids that sent the commissioner crazy. Probably too crazy. It looked like he genuinely punched Owens in the face, going by the black eye he was developing backstage. It was a good angle, and the possibilities of KO suing the McMahon family and taking over SmackDown are mouth-watering. But the idea of Shane physically getting the better of actual wrestlers still irks me from a believability standpoint. He should try to beat them up, but not being a professional athlete, get knocked out in return. Shane's story is the underdogs, not the toe-to-toe fighter defending his family's honor. With the hot opening angle over, Carmella could finally take on Natalya, which she lost in about 3 minutes when Ellsworth attempted to cash in her briefcase at the wrong time. And then the heartbreak came yet again. Owens and Jericho, Ciampa and Gargano, Goldust and R-Truth to a much lesser extent, and now Carmella breaking up with Ellsworth. Thankfully, as they're a very entertaining act, the two were back together by the end of the night. But Carmella demonstrated a new aggression, snogging and then slapping Ellsworth, saying they're doing things her way now. With Naomi versus Natalya on next week's show, perhaps her way means finally cashing in that briefcase. After 2 weeks of teasing a new gimmick, Dolph Ziggler re-debuted as John Cena, and then the Macho Man Randy Savage, and then Naomi. He cycled through their entrances, stopping each one midway through to rile on the crowd for liking characters over actual wrestling. Ziggler pulled this off very well, and it's an effective build for his reported feud against another wrestler with a glorious entrance, Bobby Roode. After Aiden English's victory was scrapped from the record books last week because of KO's interference, he won his rematch against Sami Zayn with a surprise roll-up in about a minute. This was the worst part of the show and did nothing for anyone. Following the events that opened SmackDown, Daniel Bryan called Shane McMahon down to the ring where, in typical McMahon family fashion, he suspended the commissioner in front of the live crowd on Vince's orders. What a dad. Baron Corbin beat Tye Dillinger in a very solid TV match, made even better by AJ Styles screaming, "Cheap shot! Cheap shot!" on commentary when the Lone Wolf punched Tye in the throat. Corbin is so much better in this mid-card heel role, rather than being forced into a main event slot that doesn't yet fit him. Afterwards, AJ asked Tye to answer his US title open challenge next week. 10. Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura actually opened SmackDown, delivering backstage promos looking right into the camera. And in even better eyeline aesthetics, Jinder Mahal watched the night's main event between them from a VIP box in the arena, a refreshing change from the usual awkwardly angled TV screenshot backstage. Orton and Nakamura had a great counter-based match to become the #1 contender for Jinder's WWE title, the best being a fantastic counter from Shinsuke, turning an RKO into an armbar mid-air. Randy made Nakamura look very strong, losing clean to the Kinshasa, meaning Shinsuke has beaten both John Cena and Randy Orton in just over a month, probably just to lose to Jinder Mahal at Hell in a Cell. SmackDown found an even better cliffhanger to finish on, though. Bryan telling Owens backstage backstage that Vince McMahon will be on next week's episode to address his and Shane's situation. So that was this week's SmackDown Live in about 4 minutes. Here's the usual ratings recap from top to bottom. Smack damn, smacktastic, smack bang in the middle, Ellsworthy, and Sami Zayn in 1 minute matches. I'll reveal my score very shortly, but first, vote in the poll above my head to give yours. I'll announce the results in tomorrow's WrestleTalk news. What a fantastic episode of SmackDown Live. The Tye Corbin and Nakamura Orton matches were very good. The Owens-McMahon storyline threading through the night was sufficiently intriguing, and Corey Graves was a pleasure to listen to on commentary. And what's even more impressive is the foundations it laid for next week's show. Effectively a mini pay-per-view in Las Vegas. The Usos versus New Day in a tag team title street fight, Natalya versus Naomi for the Women's Championship, Dillinger to answer AJ's Open Challenge, and the return of Vince McMahon. This week's SmackDown is a very, very solid smacktastic. But what's the real reason JBL is no longer doing commentary on Tuesday nights? And meanwhile, over on Raw, Roman Reigns has embraced his inner heel. Click the videos to the left to learn more, press subscribe, and support WrestleTalk on Patreon. I've been Ollie Davis, and that was wrestling.